Okay, so neurofeedback today went well. Leaving right now, heading to the grocery store, pick up some stuff, and then I got a massage scheduled, so I'm really excited about that. Today has been a day of physical health as far as getting up early so that I could make it to a Spenga class, which is really great comprehensive workout. The first 20 minutes is cardio so it's cycling, and then the second 20-minute chunk is strength training. It's a circuit training with weights, and then the third 20 minutes is yoga. So depending on the instructor, the yoga sometimes is more intense and you're still like really working, and sometimes it's more stretchy. I really like the stretchiness. I like the workout of the yoga too, but after the first 40 minutes, you're like, let's stretch and cool down. So that was wonderful. I was very proud of myself for getting up and getting that done this morning, setting better, healthier habits for myself with good nighttime routine, bedtime hygiene, getting myself into bed at a certain time to make sure I get adequate sleep, because I know how much, in general, sleep is just so crucial to everything. It's when your body is resting and recharging and healing from anything that need healing. So I've really been conscious and aware of that and working hard to make sure I have a solid routine in place so that I can then also have the routine and the habitual element of getting up, getting my day started with a workout, feeling really strong with that. So I did that this morning. Love it. Keeping it up. Setting myself up for success in that way. And then something that kind of struck me earlier, I went and had breakfast at one of my favorite breakfast joints after I drop Liv off at school. It always sets me on the right track when I drop her off at school. She sits in the front seat with me and we do our daily affirmations. I pull the mirror down and we look at ourselves and we go through them. I am strong. I am kind. I am smart. I am brave. I am courageous. I am worthy. I am enough. And she asked me, Mom, what does worthy mean? And then talking through that with her was interesting. And truly, you don't know how many words you wouldn't really know how to define without using the word until a toddler asks you. And you're like, I know what it means, and then really trying to verbalize it in different terms and explain it with examples that someone young would understand. But yeah, that always, and we've added on to it now where I tell her, I was like, hey, put your hand on your heart, take a deep breath. She's so cute, she'll close her eyes and go, and really let it out. And I'll go, now look at yourself. I am loved. I am safe. And then we go, and it's going to be the best day ever. And we laugh and do whatever we want to do for the rest of the car line. So that sets me off on a good trajectory. I do want to get better, and something for me to work on is finding time and giving myself a new trigger to do my affirmations, because she goes to school Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I do drop off, Daddy does pick up. And so I want a trigger to do that on non-drop off days, because sitting in the line and getting her out of the car is the trigger for me to be able to habitually, let's do our affirmations, so that is something. But so I went to my favorite restaurant that I have in the area by Neurofeedback for breakfast, and I had my phone with me. Obviously, I always have my phone with me, but I was able to, within the restaurant, I put in my earbuds and I listened to jazz for studying, which just really gets me into the focusing mood. And I got through a pretty dense chapter of so with National Academy of Sports Medicine, I have my certified personal trainer certification, and now I'm going for my nutrition coaching certification. So I'm in that studying habit again. it was really difficult for me to get back into studying when I was doing the personal trainer stuff. I was dealing with I was doing all that before I started neurofeedback. I was in therapy, doing talk therapy, but I was really hitting walls with procrastination and worry that I wasn't going to be smart enough to do it, all of that. I was dealing with all of that. Proved to myself that with concerted effort and like talking to Andrew and him helping me figure out different study techniques that I just haven't had to study in a very long time, since I went for like my teaching certification. And it was something that I proved to myself I can do. I passed my certification test on the first try. I was so proud of myself. I was crying. I was just so overwhelmed with like gratitude of like getting it done and feeling really accomplished at doing something. And so now that I'm in something that I think is interesting, now that I'm studying for this certification for nutrition, I'm doing neurofeedback simultaneously. And I think I can attribute a lot of this to neurofeedback. Is my focus is better. I'm able to, like, there's none of the negative self-talk when, like, I get a question wrong on a quiz, or I'm not finding myself reading over and over the same sentence to try to, like, perfectly make sense of it in my head, which I realized I was absolutely doing. It would take me a long time to get through something because I would feel myself going back and rereading it, and not really feeling like I was retaining it. But I don't feel that way now, which is huge, because I'm able to get through the material, know that I am processing it, and then really proud of myself when I get things right, because I feel like I'm retaining it and I'm able to like go forward with it, even though, like I said, it's dense material, and not get into these ruts of like, oh, I got a question wrong, oh, I'm not smart, oh, I can't, and then that like devolves into me procrastinating and not studying for like days, weeks at a time, right? Which in turn shoots myself in the foot. Self-fulfilling prophecy of not being able to do well, because I'm like, well, if I didn't give 100%, then I don't have to fear that I got it wrong because I'm intrinsically not smart enough. It's because I know I didn't put 100% forward, and I've done that to myself so many times with auditions, with acting, a lot, okay? So the fact that I was able to get through pretty dense stuff in this chapter while eating at a restaurant, every once in a while being not disrupted, but like interrupted from my reading by the server, who was wonderful, by the way. And I was able to be like, yeah, no, I'm great, thank you so much. And then go back to it and get right back into it and not have to like feel like I need to restart something. So all of those things, I think, are neurofeedback wins, honestly. And a testament to the amount of work that I've done neurologically, yes, with neurofeedback, but also with the self-compassion, the positive self-talk, the addition to more physical well-being stuff to help me get into a better headspace. So that was great. Felt really positive studying, and that's like not the first time that's happened. It's been happening frequently recently. So that shows me that I'm making progress neurofeedback-wise, because my brain is doing better stuff with studying, so that's exciting. And then as I was getting to neurofeedback, I realized I had like 15 minutes before I needed to go in. And so I was really interested and on this kick of what part of the nutrition course has been teaching me that was definitely stated in my certification for personal training, but now is like being driven home with nutrition. Movement, everyday things that we do, not giving into that sedentary sit on the couch, scroll on the phone mindlessly, and instead find reasons, utilize your body. Like, our bodies were meant to move, so especially in these days where like 40 minutes home, sitting in the car, 40 minutes on the way there, like there are things that I'm doing where I will be sitting still, right? However, if I can sprinkle in movement, and how crucial that is throughout the day for everyone, and that's things that I'm telling my clients with personal training, and now really like internalizing and doing for myself. So I set my alarm for 5 minutes so that I wasn't late, because that was another thing that I've been working on, not being late to things. Procrastination. I always think I can get more done in the amount of time that I have. So time management, I'm getting better at that. So I think that is also probably, neurofeedback's not hurting that, you know, if anything, it's helping. So I set my timer for 5 minutes and I just went on a walk. It was a beautiful day outside. It felt good to breathe in the fresh air. It felt good to move. I was a little tight, like my hips were a little tight from the cycling that I did this morning. So it felt really good to move around and walk, knowing that I was going to be sitting for 30 to 45 minutes during neurofeedback. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm building in these small things. And so how important movement is throughout the day, where it's gotten me out of that all or nothing thinking, where, oh, well, if I don't have time to commit to 40 minutes of stretching, then why would I sit down and do 5 minutes of it? Because it adds up and it's so beneficial, and like the caloric burn throughout the day adds up way more from all the other things you do. And then you're helping your metabolism be boosted by adding the movement in. Your energy is lifted. Vitamin D with the sun. Like there's just so many benefits, and I feel like I'm really making that mindset shift into that, and knowing that it's being really cross beneficial, like across lots of elements of my life. So feeling really proud of myself. As I went into neurofeedback today, he had set the threshold lower, so it was more difficult for my brain. So there was a slight increase in, like I was saying yesterday, with my downward trajectory for the most part. Really proud of it, really happy with it. And today it was slightly increased because he had set the levels lower to make my brain have to work harder, and it's more difficult when the levels are set lower, right? Because you have to find a different level of like calm for your brain to be able to stay beneath that threshold so that the show will play for that positive reinforcement, right? So it's challenging my brain, which is what we should be doing. And so what's really huge for me is not getting disappointed in any way. And I'm not just saying that. Like, I've internalized there is no level of disappointment that it didn't go down again today. This is hard. The thing that I'm doing is hard, and my brain is working and it's doing well. And just because we can't like immediately go down another level threshold, or I haven't like zipped through this and like immediately done well at it, my brain is learning. I don't know how to do this new thing yet. I'm working on it. And that is all so new for me, to not immediately be like, I want to give up on this thing because I'm not immediately good at it. And that, like, while I was walking around today on my quick walk, like realizing there are so many things that we put ourselves in these boxes of what other people have told us throughout our life that we internalized and then believed and then like leaned into. And for me, it was always, I'm unathletic, I'm clumsy, scrawny, not strong. Those were things that, like, if no one ever expressly told me, but like I was much more, music was my thing, theater was my thing. So I was never really the sporty kind, like in gym class. Like I was always kind of like, I'll do the thing, but I'm not great at it. And like I believed that about myself. To my parents' benefit, they put me in basketball, they put me in volleyball. I tried them and I felt like I wasn't great at them and I didn't want to do them. Where I felt like I succeeded and I was drawn to music and I was good at that already, and then I got better at it, right? Whereas like I didn't get into dance or anything, I wasn't in gymnastics, I didn't do anything really physical, and I didn't stick with a sport that they had put me in. So I started to believe that about myself. And then in my adult life, I'm realizing, no, that's not true. I didn't need to believe that about myself. I didn't need to lean into that and be like, yeah, I'm bad at this. Not everybody is good at all sports, and especially if you only give a cursory effort and then just assume you're bad at it so you quit, like, of course you're not going to be good at something you don't practice. So when I wanted to take up tennis, I had always believed, oh, my hand-eye coordination sucks, or I'm not fast enough to get to the ball, I don't know what I'm doing, and I would just be so self-deprecating. And then realizing I wanted to be good at it. To surprise Andrew for his birthday, I wanted to learn tennis. He's a big tennis buff. And I found out I'm actually good at it. My hand-eye coordination is stellar. I've worked really hard to up my endurance, to be like an endurance runner. I've run half and full marathons. Like I am capable. I'm fast. Like my form is good. Like anyway, so it's like I found a sport that I thrive at, that I want to put time and effort into getting better at. And when I make a mistake or something, or I do something not perfect, I'm having grace and like self-compassion, being like, this is difficult, but I'm doing it. I'm capable. I can lift weights and get lean muscle mass. I can do these things. So it's like not wanting to, going forward, I don't want to internalize things that people may say about me, labels they may put. Like, I am in charge of that. And so in this neurofeedback journey, the word journey, but in this, I have helped teach myself, and I've internalized a good thing where it's, you don't know how to do this yet. How could you know how to do this yet? You haven't been taught it. Give yourself a chance to learn. And that's what I'm doing. I'm giving my brain a chance to do this thing without me trying to like micromanage it or control it. I'm letting go of that. I'm surrendering to that. So it's like, even with things that in previous Louise mindset would have been like, this is a setback, you're not good enough. I know that that's not true. I know that I am headed in the right direction, and I am showing up, and I'm doing the work, and